Good morning. Good morning. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Testing, David. Good morning. Ketawa Kesil. Travel soon $1. Dude, if we can get back to 9 cents, I'll be pleased. Welcome. My screen is to the left, so if I look to the left, it's because I'm looking at my screen for interaction. I should have it up there really, so I don't have to look to the left. I can look straight, but it is what it is. All right. Who's with me? Shall we go? Shall we analyze? A bit of analysis. Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin? Bitcoin going to the moon. Bitcoin going to zero. What was my title today? Analyze. David, as long as you're with me, we're good. Don't care about anyone else. Buyer weight, can it recover? BTC buyer weight, TRVL, can it recover? SUI, Cake, and Solana. That's one of it. So, should we buy or wait? Well, so we're about to find out. Oh, cheers. I was going to get a little bit more trim today, actually. I'm going to Tangiers tomorrow for a week. That'll be fun. Right. Let's have a look at this shit. This fucking shit. This piece of shit. Crypto crap. Change my channel to Amir's crypto crap channel. Bitcoin is a piece of shit channel. The crapto channel. Do a poo on the loo channel. Crypto poo. Okay, let's just do some basics, right? Let's just do some basics. Real basics. Yeah, I am. Yeah. Why not? Fun. I like to kind of stream from anywhere, really. All right, volume, same. We're above the point of control. Actually, is that high volume node still there? Yep, high volume node. Above the point of control. There's another high volume node there, actually. So let me just mark that out. Perfect. John, how are you? Welcome. What's going to make my channel blow up? Calling it the Crapto channel, the Crypto Crapto. Or live streaming from Tangiers. Like, come on, man. Give me some more info. So last night I didn't stream because I was too tired, basically. That being said, on Discord, if you guys are on Discord, if you're not, why not? If you are, then why don't you chat to me? Because I'm bored. Oh, my Discord has vanished. Give me a sec. Sometimes OB Plus doesn't behave properly. You can chat to me on Discord. This feels like I'm alone in my own channel, but I like interaction. I don't mind a little bit of interaction. So last night I didn't stream, but I did kind of post some stuff last night. Where was it? R asks me, holding longs? I said, not financial advice, as always. I'm still in some longs. Daily close on BTC above this level indicates continuation. Also, I like the 12-hour candle, but needs to close above that level. Bullish CVD across the local range. We're above the range POC. Just need to be sure that the close is higher. Otherwise, we're still in the range bound. We'll rotate to the lows and it'll get bearish again. Solana will show strength until Bitcoin hit the single principal rejected. Need Bitcoin to close above 97,313 on Bybit Invest Perps. Looking for Solana to bounce from this VWAP and local GP. Close is good. Little pullback and then hopefully higher. SUI looks good. Daily bullish engulfing. All right, so that was kind of all last night on Discord. I hope if anyone was on there in the early hours. I really need to get out of the UK because I don't like being up till midnight every single freaking time. It's just a pain in the ass, to be honest with you, because I want to see the daily close every single day, just to see, because that kind of that tells you what's happening next, really, on a daily time frame. Weeklies, it takes a little bit too long to play out. Yeah, you kind of have to. Weekly's good, but it takes a little bit longer to play out, whereas on the daily you can kind of get some really nice moves in the context of daily price action. And effectively I just marked it out on my chart. Daily close above here for continuation. The reason why I'm on that, I have that mentality, is because effectively, and it's just a little education really, this candle here is your range. You're closing outside of the range, so you've broken the range to the upside. Yeah, that's what that means. And so if you close underneath it, then you're actually closing within the range, and so the range has still locked the price. And so in that context it could go up, but usually what it means is it kind of falls right back down to the bottom of the range. So the previous candle is the range. There are kind of bigger candles which control the range, so previous candles control the range. In this context, I was just focused on the previous candle, which is yesterday. Sorry, the day before. The day before. And then obviously you've got kind of these kind of bigger candles which are controlling the range too, which have bigger ranges. So you have kind of ranges within ranges within ranges. That's kind of what candles are. They're ranges within ranges within ranges, effectively. And so the price kind of, when the price is like this, it's not impulsive, is it? This isn't impulsive price action. So when you're looking at the price, can you see impulsive moves here? No, can't see it. It's all corrective. The whole thing is a corrective price action. And when you're dealing with corrective price action, the price is range bound, and it just goes from range to range, effectively. Impulsive price action, which is also known as Elliott wave 1, 3, and 5, only happens from pivot lows. Yeah, from significant pivot lows. You could argue, okay, maybe that was the first impulse. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know. You could argue that, and then we're just in a corrective too. You could argue that. You don't have to be in a higher time frame 5 wave to have 5 waves impulsive on something locally. It could always happen, just because of the way the mentality of the market is. You could always have like little 5 wave moves, regardless of where you are in the higher time frame Elliott wave context, just because of the market. But that will always come from a pivot low. In the same way, when the price is looking to sell off, it will always come from a pivot high. Yeah. So when you're looking at impulsive moves, they always happen from the pivot lows and the pivot highs. Anything in between is just corrective. And so what we're looking at now, in my opinion, is corrective. I'm not looking at this and thinking impulsive. This was impulsive. This was impulsive. That was your 5 wave move. Okay. That's why I think this Elliott wave 5 is over. That's kind of why I think that we're done with Elliott waves. Yeah. And so I've kind of talked about that in my previous streams, and I've kind of marked it out on the index chart. Again, think is one way to describe it. Could always be wrong. So who knows? I kind of think that was it. Yeah. And the only way that we'll know is after we start going down, start taking up these lows. Yeah. So you can't really know, because that could also be wave 1 of another wave 3, of another kind of wave 5. It's possible. So the wave, this whole thing is a wave, but as far as I can tell, that was good enough to complete this move. So you had some kind of wave 1 there, some kind of wave 3 there, some kind of wave 5 there. That's what I think. Okay, that would complete this 5 wave move. I'm content with this BTC move, to be honest with you. I'm happy with it. I don't think BTC needs to go higher because we've already had our higher time frame 5 waves. And if it does go higher, because this final wave is just wave 1 of 5, because it could be that could be the last 5. It's always possible until you invalidate until the price comes underneath there. It's always possible that this is just like a 1, whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that. And this is that was the first impulse. To be honest with you, then, if we want an impulse now, we have to go down. We can't just, this isn't impulsive. We'd have to go down like that if it wants to do that. I'm not seeing it right now. Okay, so I kind of, it is possible if we are experiencing something like this, just to kind of finish this 5 with 5 waves, and that was just the wave 1. Yeah, it is possible we grind up correctively for a drop for an impulse like that, and that would suffice. And then basically you are going to all-time highs then for a final, like a little blip to end this. Okay, so it is possible to still have like a little impulsive price action in the context of this going up. It requires us to go down. I don't know if we're going to go down here. We might have to go up before we dip to go up for an impulsive last bit. I think whatever happens, this is the end. That's what I've talked about of Bitcoin's final move, or the end of the move. Okay, a lot of people on crypto are talking about to the moon, parabolic, alt season. Honestly, I think rubbish. I think rubbish because the charts don't indicate that. Yeah, so I was just looking today. It's going to trap a lot of people. It's fine, let them get trapped. I was looking today, I could be wrong, but I'm not going to get caught up in that hype. I bookmarked today a few posts. Ethereum to 12k. All coins holding the line. Triple bottom. What the fuck? I have literally called every Bitcoin move since 15k bottom to perfection. That means follow me. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Be ready. Parabolic rally of immense proportions. When that's the key. When Bitcoin breaks, when it comes. He's right. When. But it doesn't have to be tomorrow or this month or next month. You know, like, he might be right, huh? And he's talking about a break. He's not talking about some kind of fake out or failed auction or swing failure or some, you know what I mean? Like, context is key when you're reading these guys. I mean, I like this guy. I'm not disputing his potential and analysis. I'm not like saying that's why I follow these people. I'm not like, no, I like them to a degree because they help me see what's going on. You know, when you get a lot of influence pushing this shit, I get bearish. So that's why I like this kind of stuff. Anyway, there's a lot of shit going around on the internet. And fundamentally, what I've been talking about, continue to talk about, nothing's changed for me, is the idea of Wyckoff distribution. I'll keep on talking about it because when it happens, there may be some people come and follow me on my stream and say, wow, you knew, you non-stop talked about why, and it happened. Wow, why didn't we follow you? Why didn't we believe you? Honestly, if I'm wrong, no one will care. No one will care if I was wrong. But if I'm right, I could gain a few followers on my channel, so that'll be fun. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Who cares? I could be wrong. You know, that's the disclaimer. Everyone's wrong sometimes. But at the moment, it looks very much like we're following one of these two distribution schematics. Very similar price action. The difference between the 1 and 2 is the 1 will take the high somehow. Bam. And the 2 doesn't. That's really the only difference between the 1 and the 2. The 2 will kind of struggle. Okay. I don't mind either, to be honest with you, but ultimately the higher you go, the more of a sell zone we're in, to be honest with you. That's where I'm at with where we're at, to be honest with you. I think it is possible to have an impulsive move. I'm not saying it's not possible. It does require a little dump, a little fake out, a little drop, yeah. And I am wondering if we do get that up here on this trend line, if we eventually do kind of go up to there for a drop like that, and then we get our a little 5-wave move with a final 5, and then so I am wondering if there is an impulsive move to be had, but it's not here. This isn't it. This is all corrective price action. It's kind of grinding up, trapping people. Maybe the final push is going to be quite impulsive buying before it dumps, which is actually the right place to buy for some kind of a final 5-wave impulsive to complete whatever this is that's playing out. Yeah, it could happen a bit later in the month. Marve, hi, welcome. It's my third top since December, similar to March to June 2024 at the moment. Right now 45% waiting for a good drawback. So we are still on a kind of Wyckoff distribution type schematic. The only condition of being wrong, I think, in this context, and to get a last impulse, the price could go up and down an impulse, or we could fail here to push down to this low to impulse. There's different options of what could happen. Yeah, at the moment I'm not thinking that, but it could happen. I just don't want to take out this low here. I think that would invalidate the Wyckoff idea, just because on the schematic we've already had the sign of weakness in phase B. That is the pivot low of the range. That's your sign of weakness, I think, in phase B. So if you go down and you take it, it doesn't look right, doesn't correlate to a Wyckoff distribution. It could be something else. I do also think, if for some reason, I'm just kind of contemplating the future, I'm not saying it's going to happen, I'm not really here at the moment, I'm not seeing it yet. Okay, it could happen, but I'm not seeing it yet. Could being a percentage chance. I think probably around 84k for a failed auction. If that was to happen, then actually you could see a real parabolic type move. You invalidate the Wyckoff distribution, but you could see a really strong move to higher prices like that. Okay, that's the only caveat to what I'm chatting about. Okay, that's really what it would take to get a strong move. It would take a really aggressively bearish dip to get a strong up move, which is really impulsive. Okay, it'd have to be a very aggressive dip. In this context, it would be around 75k, I think. If we were to be given that would be kind of the area that I'm thinking. A lot of people will be calling for lower. Yeah, a lot of people will be calling for lower. They're going to get front run probably, because the reality is there's a lot of institutions and bigger players waiting on the sidelines, waiting for that big dip. So while I could contemplate lower, if we were to just go down now, I wouldn't be thinking lower than here. But if we do have a nice Wyckoff distribution here, where we kind of just go up and then down and then up, whatever, then actually I wouldn't be thinking 84k would hold. Then I'll be thinking, you know, signs of weakness, take the range low, and it'll just look like that. Okay, then you have a classic Wyckoff distribution in play. and then actually you'll be looking for a very mini bear market somewhere around 70, 73, 74. Like, you've got a little range here where the price needs to find support. Everyone is bearish, bull market over. We've back tested the previous all-time high, and then the rest of the year you could actually get an incredibly bullish wave 1 back into the range, sign of strength, incredibly bullish wave 3, enterprise discovery, incredibly bullish end of the bull market type thing, alt season, whatever. Yeah, so you have options of what could happen. I prefer this. For me, this makes a lot more sense, just because we get people bullish now. We liquidate the shorts who are ultra leveraged. Everyone is bullish, everyone is alt season, everyone is let's go to the moon, and then everyone gets trapped, and then the price drops because they realize that the price isn't going up. They got fucked again by the market, and then the price crashes, and then people are bearish, so they start dumping, and then the price goes up a bit, and they go, oh my god, it's going up, buy, and then the market goes down, and then everyone gets fucked. Basically, the market's fucking everyone. Basically, we're all getting hammered up the ass. Effectively, that's what the market likes to do. So it's good to contemplate how the market can do that, and then see if it happens, and try not to get caught on the wrong side of that. Try and be on the right side of that. But ultimately, if we do get a little Wyckoff distribution, this is your target zone, somewhere between 70, 73, 72, 74. Who knows? Capitulations are brutal, and that's effectively what you're looking for, a BTC capitulation if this happens. And then that would be nice, because capitulations also indicate bottoms, and bottoms are good for buying, to take the price up. Okay, you kind of want to buy the bottom, and capitulations type of indicate that kind of behavior. It'd be nice if MicroStrategy got liquidated, and then Bitcoin held 70k. That'd be amazing. I doubt it, but shit happens, or FTX collapse. Why not MicroStrategy? It'd be amazing if MicroStrategy over leveraged and a fat thumb liquidation took the price for a split second below their liquidation point, because these cunts got greedy. But actually Bitcoin just held range support. Anyway, it's never going to happen, but you never know. It'd be amazing if it did. So let me just save that for whoever knows, whatever happens in the future. I can say I predicted it, even though I'm not really predicting it. I'm just saying, who knows. Shit happens. Call it shit happens. Oh, I want to keep that trend line because I like that. That's my shit happens idea. All right. But in the current context, yesterday we had a really nice 12-hour candle close last night. It was nice because it closed above point of control. It was nice because it closed above the previous candle. So we had a nice bullish buy up. Now we've gone up to the high of the range of the 12-hour candle. So we'll probably go back down to test the point of control before we, maybe in New York session, before it kind of starts to go up again. Again, this is all corrective price action, so you kind of have to take profit. Okay, or you have to just buy spot and just be patient. If you're trading, you can't. People are going to get whipped out, because they're going to be buying, and then the price is going to go down. They're going to think it's going to go down. They're going to sell, and the price goes up. It's really hard to buy and sell this kind of price action, because everyone still has the mentality of impulse, buy, wait, price will go up, I'll be rich. But the reality is this is going up and down, and it's grinding, isn't it? It's grinding price action. Some altcoins will act impulsively, but the reality is this is kind of grinding. The reason why we're in a very different situation to give us the beautiful alt season that everyone dreams of, the kind of the come in my pants type alt season, the one that just kind of makes you horny and wet, is simply excuse the language, if you don't like it, fuck off. This is me, whatever. is because of the momentum. The momentum of the market is terribly bearish. Yeah, you just can't ignore momentum, and there's no way that we're going to have an alt season now that makes everyone horny and wet. Okay, it's impossible, because the momentum of the market is down. It's a strong downtrend that we're in. Okay, you can't just reverse that. You can't just go up and up and up. It's, when I say can't, everything's possible, so that's the caveat, but it's just not a probability. It's not a higher time frame realistic probability to just go up and up and up. Yeah, because eventually you're going to go down and down and down again, and then everyone's going to be in trouble. The difference between the previous alt seasons, and this is when it happened, it was the here, look, the March COVID crashed. That was that indicated the bottom of crypto. The March COVID crash. P-Tam Anand, welcome. And the trends, the momentum wasn't down, or it was flat. Yeah, and I'm kind of looking at the weekly time frame more so than anything else, because that kind of gives me more better indication of the momentum on a higher time frame. You see, we're in a downtrend. We're in a really heavy downtrend now. It's terribly bearish, and this was the March COVID crash. You kind of had to break the downtrend a little bit. You kind of had to turn the momentum. You kind of had to push the price up. You can't, like, we're here basically. Yeah, that wasn't the bottom of crypto. That wasn't alt season. There was mini alt seasons, fake alt seasons. Okay, but it wasn't the one that made people rich. The one that made people rich was here, March 20. Okay, and if you look at the momentum of the market, if you look at these moving averages, the 20 and the 50 and the weekly, yeah, on ETH BTC, we haven't even begun to try to get past the 20 moving average. Yeah, it took a while. It took, even at these lows, look how strong it was. Look how difficult it was. Yeah, we had a chance here, and that was kind of like here, and it just went lower, and so we're kind of potentially here. And then actually that was the good place to buy. That was like a fake alt season, which ETH pumped for weeks, like 5 weeks. But actually this was the low after a capitulation. And then after that, by then you had a kind of a golden cross here on these moving averages, and then that was really when the markets properly turned. Look how far away we are from that. We're so far away from that I think people need to just be a little bit more conservative and a little bit more realistic about what is happening. And also, the only other kind of circumstance where there was a mega alt season was here. Very different, because here your approach, the momentum is clearly going up. The higher time frame, the weekly 50 is actually going up. The momentum is actually to the upside. So we're not here, because for weeks on end we've been going down. See, it's been bleeding, capitulation type situation. This was a capitulation, but the momentum was actually up. So you're in a massive uptrend, impulsive uptrend, and that was the buy the dip opportunity. This is a massive higher time frame downtrend. This isn't a buy the dip opportunity. This is the momentum needs to be flattened. It needs to be turned. It needs to be adjusted, at least flat, before the market can actually turn. And ETH BTC is crucial. Like, people looking at Bitcoin, who cares about Bitcoin right now? I care, because on a daily time frame, where Bitcoin can drive the market on a daily time frame, or intraday or intra-week time frame, but on a higher time frame, we need to see this play out. Okay, so we're quite far away from it. Every little pump is going to hurt people because they keep on hoping for higher, or the fear of missing out. But the reality, we have time. We have a lot of time. We can be really patient for that mega long, that mega ultra long, the ultra 100x type, ultra leverage, just pump, pump, pump. Let's just go to the moon type situation where the price never looks back. And I think that's what everyone wants, but that's going to come when no one believes it, no one expects it, or no one has faith or confidence anymore in crypto. Right now, people have a little bit of faith, a little bit of confidence, and so it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen when no one believes it, no one cares, and everyone is done for. Yeah, and that's probably when it's going to happen. It's certainly not, in my opinion, now. We might get a nice bullish February, is what I'm expecting, maybe even beginning of March, but ultimately you still need the fundamentals to support alt season, i.e. interest rate cuts in the US plus quantitative easing. It's really important. In that respect, you know, we're not yet there. And you also need gold to start pulling back significantly for this to happen, because the value, there needs to be a transfer of value. We might prelude the mega rally with a stock market crash. Okay, and then people will sell their gold and they'll start buying risky assets because of the discount, and then that's probably going to be the start of something extremely impulsive from some kind of mega pivot low. Food for thought. Okay, it's just an idea. I'm not predicting the future. I have no idea, actually. I'm just kind of trying to be logical about the markets. That's all. I'm not trying to be moon boyish about the markets. You can see here Bitcoin, the momentum is flat on the daily time frame. It's flat momentum. Doesn't mean we can't go up again to the top of the range, which is kind of what I'm expecting. You've got this kind of weekly momentum, which is kind of pointing up. So there is a little up, in my opinion, to be had. It's always possible for this kind of weekly 20 moving average to push us to the highs. But the reality is that I actually think we should test this range, and we should fill these gaps before we go up. We should, like, it's a higher probability that that happens in the future, and so therefore I'm not thinking this is going to the moon, buy all in type situation. I'm not thinking like that. All right, so anyway, let's just look at the price action for today, and let's just have a look and see what's going on, because I'm still thinking up, but it's going to be very corrective. It's not going to be that impulsive. It's going to be very difficult to trade. I can see bearish divergence forming on this range. This is bearish because the CVD is putting higher highs. The price is putting lower highs. That means there's a lot of selling going on. You could always get a little short squeeze, but the reality is that for the price to go up, you need market buying, and that market buying is going to come from shorts being squeezed and not from the market longing at market, which is healthy. What we want is market longs to push the price up, but we're not getting that. We're getting shorts getting squeezed to push the price up. So people are shorting probably incorrectly, and they're getting squeezed. That pushes the price up. So we're getting a little bit of a short squeeze, It's possible to make money from longing because it's the wrong place to short. You're above the point of control, and I wouldn't think about shorting until you're above the VWAP. You're above daily open. There's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't short here, even though I can clearly see that there is bearish CVD. Bearish CVD just gives me the kind of hesitation of risk on, you know, like you've got to be careful with bearish CVD, because if it plays out, then we are looking for another dip to test somewhere lower first, before we get a little bit of bullish CVD. So here, yesterday on my Discord, I said we had bullish CVD. in this local range, which we did, and then the price went up. So you just kind of, I wouldn't fight bearish CVD. You can see it's quite bearish here, isn't it? So basically all the market buying is being absorbed by selling, limit sell orders. So I would be in a risk off mentality when I start seeing bearish CVD. Even if it goes up and invalidates, I'd still be hesitant, because it is not impulsive price action, it is corrective. There is selling going on. It's not obvious, but it's visible. Okay. And a lot of these shorts, they probably have liquidation points very high, maybe above all-time highs, and they're just looking to push the price down because the momentum of the market is still slightly to the downside. So you can look at these lower time frame moving averages. You can see that the momentum is down. It's starting to turn, which is good. I like that. But on every time frame, you still have down momentum. And 12 hour, you see the momentum on the 20 moving average. The 20 moving average is the midpoint of the Bollinger Band. We've kind of come above it, which is nice, but we're still kind of, you can see that the momentum is to the downside still. Look at the daily. The daily's starting to turn to the downside. So in my opinion, if we get up to about 100k or 101, that would be a really good place to sell. Just because you can see that the momentum's turning. And then you can see the momentum is starting to fizzle out. We're starting to, this uptrend is starting to fizzle out. That's why I think we're in a bit of a distribution. But you know, the good thing is on the lower time frames, we've gone flat. And that kind of makes me a lower time frame, lower to medium time frame bullish. But obviously when you're bullish, you don't want to buy the highs because you're not expecting a pump. You're buying the lows. When you're bullish, you're buying the lows. Yeah, you're not buying the highs. People are buying the highs and expecting a pump. I don't see it. I don't see pumpy behavior. I don't see pumpy price action. I see very corrective. And so in corrective price action, you buy the lows, you sell the highs. You buy the lows, you sell the highs. You sell the highs, you buy the lows. It's kind of, that's corrective price action. So that's what I'm seeing right now. All across this price action, I'm seeing corrective price buying and selling. I'm not seeing pumpy. Okay, the pumpy, if it wants to come, it'll be from a dip. It'll be from a very bearish, aggressive dip. Yeah, but not from this type of corrective price action. And that's basically describing what's going on right now with Bitcoin. It's nice though, we're above the point of control, above the local range point of control. So it is, you know, you could scale in and start buying. Just scale in. That's basically scale in, dollar cost average, and then sell the highs. You could totally do that. It's very possible to make money, but you have to take profit. You can't just hold for higher. Or you can if you believe that we're going up, but no one really knows. I have an idea that we're going up, but you know, for reasons that I can't explain, reasons that I can't describe, we could be going down. It's, you know, you look at the different time frames, you look at the momentum. I see we're turning. I can see that the 20 is being turned. We still have this 50 moving average which hasn't been tested. So I think we're going up to a bit higher, but it's a think. It's a think. That's all it is. It's the think. No one really knows. I think whatever's going on, you have to kind of contemplate areas of resistance and areas of support. Yesterday we rejected from the single prints. It became a little bit bearish towards the end of the day. We're back above these kind of cleared single prints. That I think that's quite bullish. And the next area of single prints is here. Possibly we kind of go up and fill them for a rejection at the top. Yeah, that's kind of what's in my mind at the moment. To kind of form some kind of bottoming pattern here on them, get people bearish again, come back down, and then that's kind of where I'm at right now, to kind of grind up to fill these single prints. That will be a last impulsive at the highs to fill the single prints. It's just an idea. I don't know. There's nothing really else. There's a daily level there too, so you could go a little bit higher and get a little bit more bullish. and tap that daily level and then just reject for a big take profit for anyone who's longing this whole move up for a sharp decline right back down to lower prices, probably back down to the point of control, to be honest with you. And that would correlate very nicely with my Wyckoff distribution. If it does get that high, however high it gets, I don't know, then coming back down all the way down to the point of control will be correct, because that would also be somewhere where the golden pocket is. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm imagining at the moment. So it's going to grind up. It's going to grind up, make it very difficult to buy leverage, but be very nicely easy to scale in spot and to just kind of scale into the dips. I'm long on ETH. I'm building a long position as it goes up because I'm quite bullish on ETH as this rises. On other altcoins, I'm buying and selling. I'm buying and taking profit. I'm not holding altcoins for much longer than intraday, just because every time Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins really pull back. Some altcoins are more bullish than others. And I've been talking about SUI yesterday. I said SUI was really bullish. I posted it in Discord. Yeah, not financial advice. SUI looks good. Daily bullish engulfing candle. Posted that last night at 12:14 a.m. Let's have a look at SUI since last night. Let's have a look and see what it did since last night. Last night I posted it. Look, it was there. Here, just starting to go up. Since I posted that, SUI did a nice 10%. 10%. I took my profit on SUI. I'm basically, it could hold and go up, yeah, but you can't complain with a 10% mover. So, and why did I say SUI look good? The why is really important. Thanks, David. Well, look, it's very simple. We had a nice bullish engulfing candle. A bullish engulfing candle closes higher than the previous red candle. The rest of the market was, BTC closed higher as well, so I was expecting higher on BTC. And SUI, look at the strength. That's a bullish engulfing. The rest of the market didn't do a bullish engulfing. SUI was one of the few that actually created a bullish engulfing candle. And so what I always say when you're looking at tokens is look at the bullish ones. Go for the bullish ones. Yeah, especially when the market is still up, going up. Try to avoid the bearish ones, the ones which aren't showing signs of strength, because this is bullish, huh? So you're kind of just jumping in a little bit and then jumping out. Is this going higher? It could go higher. Am I in a position on SUI now? Actually, I'm in a very, very small runner. It could go higher. I'm not going to chase that anymore, because for me, that was enough. 10%. You've basically expanded the candle by 2 on a bullish engulfing. That's pretty good. You can't complain about that. It could go higher, but we're on the 3-day time frame. We're at the top of the 3-day candle, so we're at the top of the 3-day range. We've got 12 hours to go. I'd like to see how that closes, because that will give me an insight as to what happens next on SUI. But also on the weekly time frame, I'm also considering that the weekly candle closed lower. So even though we've had a bullish reaction, it's always possible for this to pull all the way back. Yeah, it's always possible. So the higher we go, the more possibility is that it drops. And so you've got this kind of, you've got the top of the range here. It could go higher, but the higher we go, the more bearish I get, just because of the bad weekly close. It was a very poor close in my opinion, and so I'd like to see this week close strong for next week. I'd be more confident about SUI next week rather than this week, just because the higher we go, the more bearish I become, just simply because of the previous week candle. Now on the 3-day time frame, if this closes higher, that would be a bullish engulfing. I'd like to wait to see what happens tonight on the 12-hour close here. I'm not going to just buy the top. I'll be looking to buy the retrace, possibly exactly somewhere around there, 50 fib or something like that, pull back. That's kind of where I'm at with SUI, and I'm not trying to push it higher because it's done 10%. Like, fuck me, that's good. It could go higher. but I'm not looking to push it higher. I'm looking to wait to see what plays out here. 3-day time frame, I want to see it close higher for a bullish engulfing. That would be if that happened, then we could see another 100% expansive to up there. But I'd rather wait for confirmation here. You know, I think if it closes lower, then again it could rotate back down. And on the weekly time frame, you know, the higher it goes, the harder it gets to go up because of this weekly close. This weekly close lower. If we get a weekly close now, which is a green, then next week just buy it. Yeah. So you can just be patient till next week. It doesn't really matter now, because this is a good one to look at, to observe. That being said, just bear in mind, I think SUI has the potential, if Bitcoin goes up to 105, 107K, SUI has the potential to go back to the all-time highs. That's why I'm interested in SUI, okay? SUI has always led all-time highs pre-Bitcoin. See, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. This is an all-time high. You like coins which like to do all-time highs, you gotta buy them. Okay, those are the ones. The only reason I'm a little bit hesitant on SUI is because after we put in a higher low here and put in a higher high, we've come down to put in a lower low on a daily time frame. So there is a potential market structure change to bearish here. Okay, which doesn't mean it can't go up. It just means that the next move up will probably be sold into at the right place. So you can still get quite a nice move to the upside, but you know, you've got the golden pocket here to contend with, which is going to act as big resistance. Yeah, so whatever happens next, that is big resistance. And even if it can somehow go through it, you're still the context is a lower high. Yeah, now SUI has the potential to fuck everyone and just go and do a higher high, and so that's why I'm interested in SUI, and that would be really bullish. But actually, you'd sell that. You wouldn't buy that. You'd be looking to sell that. If that did that, you wouldn't be looking to take that any higher. If it did that, you'd be like, okay, it did that. That's why it's good to have a little runner, just in case it did that. But it would be a higher high. This would be a higher low. But then you've got such a big range that the reality is, it'd be hard to hold. You'd be looking to come all the way back down to the lows here for a golden pocket, and then the whole thing would start to look really bearish. Yeah, then you'd be looking more, you know, again, it's the same thing that happens at the top. So you get these really impulsive moves, but then actually it starts to look really bearish. It starts to look like a bearish topping pattern. So it's just food for thought. I'd like to wait for SUI to see what happens tonight at daily close. I'll be streaming tonight at daily close. I think I'm traveling tomorrow for a week, going to Tangiers. So I'll stay up for a stream, and then I'm going to wake up in the morning early anyway. So I think I'll do a stream tonight and see what happens. I like to see where everything closes tonight. So that's kind of my ideas on SUI. I wasn't going to talk about it, but here we go. Let's have a look at a couple of other things. Let's just go back to ETH BTC as well. So it's a tricky one with ETH BTC because let me just hide these, because ETH BTC needs to bottom out for us to have the mega alt season. I think right now what I'm seeing is that ETH BTC is trying to get up to somewhere there, which is why ETH is doing quite well. ETH is sucking the liquidity out of a lot of the altcoins, and ETH is actually much stronger than a lot of altcoins, apart from the pumpy ones, but just generally for one of the blue chips, it's quite a strong one right now, and that's why a lot of the altcoins are kind of going up. I think I'd like to see ETH get up to there, and then obviously wherever we close this week, will be, I mean, the most bullish situation for ETH would be a bullish engulfing, right? That would require this ETH BTC candle to close above the weekly high. If you see a bullish engulfing on the ETH BTC, you'd buy that, huh? You'd buy the dips on that. on you could go all the way back to the bottom, but you'd buy that. You'd be looking to buy that because it's a bullish engulfing, and then you'd be looking for it to go much higher. But it's hard to know exactly what's going to happen, so you kind of have to break it down. Again, this is a 3-day candle that closes tonight in 12 hours. If it closes green like that, I think that's quite good. Yeah, it's good for a green close. Then I'll be looking for the next 3 days to be green too. I think the probability is that the next 3 days will be green rather than red. I don't think it'll be red. I think it'll probably be green. So that probably means we'll probably grind up. Again, you've got a 2-day close here too, so I'd like to see how that closes. Hopefully higher, and that would help us kind of affirm our bias for continuation. I do like also that we're seeing kind of higher lows here on the bottom of these candles. So as long as that continues, then that gives me a little bit confidence in higher prices, because that's how you see higher prices when the bottom of these, when you start seeing higher lows. I like that. And you could probably see another higher low and then the price could go up, but we just have to kind of monitor it to see what's going on. The other thing I had on ETH BTC is this anchored VWAP, not that one, this one from this capitulation low. I kind of wouldn't mind a test though, a kind of real nice test for we've kind of, I fought lower yesterday, but we obviously went up, so I'm not quite sure which pivot to use for a fib pool. Let me just bring this yeah, it's about the same. So you've got like a little point of control and this anchored VWAP. Roughly in the same area. I think that would be a really good place to buy altcoins, to be honest with you. Just for ETH BTC to come back into this kind of area of volume for a test. It could coincide with a fib, but I can't find anything that gives me the golden pocket. $786. It's hard to kind of know exactly when and where. You see the point of control held as support. I wouldn't mind if we come back down just for a test. That would be a good place for altcoins actually, because when ETH BTC comes into support, that's also good for the rest of the altcoins. You kind of don't need to look at any of the altcoins. You can just buy the strong ones off ETH BTC finding support. But I mean, right now we're also seeing a little bit of a trend line. We'd have to break that for a kind of a little impulsive buyout from that area. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think if I see that would be a good opportunity. So I'm keeping an eye on ETH BTC on the kind of locally for continuation. And again, I want to see how ETH BTC closes today. I'd like it to close higher than the previous day high. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll probably the next day, tomorrow, we'll come back down for a test. And the problem with going down is then it becomes bearish. Huh? People get really bearish and they start selling, and then you start getting market selling. And then if the lows can't hold, then you go lower. And then you're looking for pullbacks. And then it's harder to know exactly what's going to happen. And then if that was to happen, if in a situation when it closes lower, then really you are looking for the golden pocket. You'd have to lose all this shit. And if it finds support, then that would be a better place to long the golden pocket. Golden pocket is always a good area to long. So if this wants to continue grinding, then a test here to continue grinding up would be nice. If we start to have weak closes and that this starts to pull back, then you're basically looking for the golden pocket for some kind of higher low here and then hopefully go back up. But we have to see. Let's have a look at ETH itself. So we've come into the point of control. We're finding a little bit of resistance. We're getting a little bit of rejection. In this lower range, this kind of lower consolidation range, we're above the value area. So we're kind of trapped a little bit. We're trapped between two levels. I'm hoping this value area high holds. We've got this kind of bullish engulfing 2-hour candle here. Kind of want this area to hold now and to reverse. Again, if it doesn't, you're back into the range. You're coming to the point of control, and it could do that. So that's why it's good. That's why it's good to take profit, and that's also why it's good to deleverage at the highs and leverage at the lows or whatever. Or you can short as well if you really want to, but yeah, this is it's probably considerably stronger than some other tokens, to be honest with you. Let me just have a look at Solana quickly. Solana's pulling back now. Again, Solana, I am also thinking something similar. Oops, shit. So, oh my god. Got this little golden pocket with this anchored VWAP. We're at the point of control right now, but you kind of need a confluence. You can't just expect the point of control to hold. It could, but you can't expect it to hold unless there's kind of other things that indicate. You've got this kind of other anchored VWAP, which is slightly above the one from this low. So you've got a little bit of area of confluence slightly lower down at the golden pocket. So if Solana wanted to do that, that would be nice. And take this low into the golden pocket. I'm not expecting it, but that would be kind of where a good area to long or to buy for continuation. And I think you'd want ETH BTC to fall into support, and then you'd kind of want BTC to fall into support at the same time. So you have to look at multiple charts when you're trying to evaluate price action. You can't just go on one chart. This is correct, this is right, this is how it is, this is what's going to happen next. We're seeing bearish CVD and BTC, so that's why I closed all of my longs pretty much, apart from my ETH long, because I'm actually thinking ETH will probably go much higher, but I'm not going to take a loss, so I'm willing to risk my gains for higher and try and add to the dip. But here you see BTC is pulling back. Let's have a look quickly here. The local point of control, it's at it now, but I think maybe the range point of control is more realistic. Which would be the golden pocket area, which would be the range point of control. That's a better area, isn't it? If the price came here, found support back at 97, 300, 400. And effectively what you're doing on the daily time frame is coming all the way back to daily open for a test. Yeah, New York likes to do that. New York likes to test daily opens. So Asia, London pumps, New York reverses, goes all the way back to the beginning for a test. The New York likes to liquidate, and then the New York likes to buy, and then the price pings right back up. If New York wants to shut the price down, the price will go up first. We'll start pumping first. It's like New York does the opposite first before it actually sets the course. And so if New York starts to sell initially, then and it's into support, then I'm kind of thinking probably up. If New York starts to buy initially, then I'm thinking probably down. So you kind of have to think the inverse of what New York initially does. So yeah, we're getting a little bit of selling. See the local point of control, no interest. So probably here, this range point of control of the golden pocket is the actual real area of interest for a reaction. All right, that is that. Any questions on anything? It's hard to long. People are like, oh my god, I lost all my money, I should have taken profit, what should I do? It's harder. It's not easy. You just almost you feel like you're in a position, a really good position, and you don't take profit and the price comes down. What do? Do you hold your position, or do you just break even? Do you get back in? You know, like there's so many disastrous emotions that flow in a trader's mind or an investor's mind when the price action is like this. Some traders would call it gambling. I don't think it's gambling if you're scalping, or if you're taking profit, or if you're entering correctly. But you can't hold, they're not like, it's hard to hold swing longs in these kind of areas. Let's just have a look at the order flow. Oh yeah, look, this is nice. We've just got a little buying tail here on Bitcoin. This is actually really nice. This is the New York session, little buying tail here. That's the first thing I wanted to see. That's good. That just shows you we've come into a little bit of local support here on Bitcoin. See that buying tail? They're good. They're good places to buy as long as it holds and doesn't push down. Often what you get is the price goes up and it comes back down for a test of these previous sessions that I was looking at. London session, there was no buying tails. Asia, no buying tails. Closed session, no buying tails. Even yesterday's New York, there was no buying tails. So the only buying tail that we had was the Asia session here. They're really good places. When you get these buying tails, it creates the buying tail and the price goes up and it comes back for a test. They're really good places to buy. Sometimes you get a buying tail and the price kind of, it gives you like 2 candle tests and the price pings. But really they're the play. When you get these buying tails, that's kind of what I was looking for. So right now we're getting a little bit of a buying tail here. Ooh, even though the price is heavy into it. So it's you kind of want the price to go up and test it first, and then if you see that it holds, then probably the price is looking to go back up, at least in this session, which is the New York session. Let me just have a look at ETH. Oh wow, look, ETH has got a buying tail here. That's nice. It's a really strong one, huh? Got a little single print here that will probably fill. So yeah, this could be a good place to long. Just looking at the order flow, the charts here. But usually with these, you kind of want it to form. You want the price to go up, little tests off the top of it, and then as long as it holds, then you could probably kind of trail right back up to the top of the range. If that holds. This is good. Looks, Solana's got a buying tail too. So you've got a few buying tails here off the different tokens at the same time, at the same kind of wherever they're relatively in the same place. So I think this could be a good place to start longing, even though it's a lot higher than what I thought. As long as these tails, so I mean, I don't think you guys go have the EXO charts. All right, you see this, the buying tail's gone. So it's gone on Bitcoin. Unfortunately, where did it go? Fuck. Bitcoin. Oh, there it is. It's still there. Let me just have a look. No, look at SUI. SUI, oh yeah. I'm gonna buy some SUI now. Just fuck it. Buy, buy, buy! 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 Buy a little bit of Bitcoin. Buy the fear. Buy the fear. Only a little bit. Buy the fear. And hope you don't get liquidated. Oh God, can't buy. Just a little bit of fear across the border. Price dropping, people scared. Could go down further, so you don't want to. When you do shit like this, you don't want to go all in and thinking it's going to go up. It's just speculative. A little buy and tail. I like that. I like that little buy and tail. So we've got a little bit of bearish divergence at the highs, which is kind of which I indicated in Discord. Are we seeing bullish divergences here? Nope. So very speculative, small buy. New York could easily take it all the way down to the daily open, which would be a much better place to buy. Yeah, there's no bullish CVD here either. Okay, very speculative. All right, I won't go. You see, I'm already up on my SUI position. You can scalp her like that. You can see a little buying tail, scalpy, make a little bit of pocket change. Go and buy yourself a coffee, little scalpy off a buying tail. Right, yeah, that's the point of control as well. So probably that's why, yeah, see that? So a little bit of fear, but actually maybe that's going to hold. So maybe we don't go lower. In any case, what else did I want to have a look at? So Cake has been having a really nice time since the lows. So I just wanted to kind of have a little look at that. This is a really strong green weekly candle. You see the volume on that? Really strong. That could be a pivot low there, just because of the volume. If you look at the Cake, look at the volume of this range, and look at that green, this green volume here. Yeah, that is a really strong volume. If you look at the whole range, we haven't had that much volume. How much volume is that on Cake? 16 million. The last time we had that much volume on a green day, week, was the last bull market where this was pumping, and that was 19 million. This is the second highest volume on Cake in this chart, second highest. Yeah, so that I get really bullish when I see volume in the lows like that, big on a capitulation type situation to form a higher low here. I get really bullish when I see that. And in this context, it's also the point of control. Just draw it out. Now the point of control is a bit lower, so let me just change that. Get rid of these, get rid of these, get rid of these, just keep the volume. So I really like that, huh? I really like that. I really like it. You can't argue with that volume, huh? Capitulation, big buy in, big buy back in. And so that's a sign of strength for me, for cake. So I am actually like looking to kind of, I took a long, I took profit. It'd be good to trade that on cake, or to scale in. Maybe it will go back up to the highs here, to that high volume node at $4. I really like it. I really like that volume. Like, it's hard to ignore, and I'm not going to ignore it. We've got this outer trend line now, which looks like we're trying to break it on cake. So there is a possibility for a nice breakout here on cake. Yeah. We're getting some nice green candles here, closing higher, pushing higher. I think once, if this closes above that wick, then we're just going to fuck off, fly to the moon. Yeah. If we get a nice daily close above that, we're just going to fly. And you see this 3-day time frame candle. That is, it was a bearish capitulation candle, and then it was immediately reverse of a bullish engulfing candle. Really bullish reversal there, extremely bullish reversal. We'll see how this 3-day closes tonight, but that would be a continuation on the 3-day candle. So honestly, cake is starting to look really bullish here, and you just can't ignore it. And you see that weekly candle, we actually closed higher. We're right back up to the weekly, the previous week open. So we got a really nice potential floor being established here on the higher time frame. This monthly candle is starting to look really sexy, high volume. We're back above last month we had a really poor close and it went down. Now we're right back into the month close, previous month close, with high volume. This is really strong. It's a really strong sell, and it's a really strong buy. So I'm really kind of looking at cake, and I'm just wondering if I should go all in. if I should just fuck it and go all in. Yeah, because maybe this could pump her, because that's the floor. That's what this thing, that for me, that's what this means. It means we've hit the floor. We've literally hit the floor. When you hit the floor, you've hit the floor. That's it. We're at the bottom. There's no better place to buy than the bottom. So that's the kind of signal I'm getting on cake. So that's why I'm interested on cake. Not financial advice. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm starting to see strong bottom forming here. That's making me interested in this more so than many other tokens, just simply because of the volume that's been established here. Looking at the kind of the downtrend, you can see it's flattened out on a higher time frame. It's quite flat. The monthly is flat. The 50 monthly is actually slightly up, much higher. So I think this downtrend is this crazy downtrend has been now flattened out. We had a really crazy downtrend here. It took a while, but you've kind of, the price has gone up and it's come down. It's kind of flattened out now. Hit massive support. Little reaction here. I think cake is one that we could potentially see a massive move in the future, because we've hit the floor here. Now, not financial advice, but you know, people kind of ignore BNB and cake, but the reality is Binance is still the largest exchange in the world. Cake is still the largest DEX outside of Uniswap, I think, but on the BNB chain it's the largest one. So what if and when we do in the future get a crazy alt season in the future, then I would imagine that cake would pump to the moon, like really pump hard. So right now it's at $1.9. I don't see why in the future, when I say future, I'm kind of just expanded future, we don't see a move that takes us to like $70, $120, $200 with cake, just simply because we're at the floor now and the volume in the exchanges can increase exponentially when you get a bull season, a real altcoin season, that's really cake is one of those exchanges which can give you that kind of volume. So it's just something I'm interested in. I'm just looking at it now. I'm just thinking I need to really dump my ETH and buy cake, to be honest with you. Let's just have a look at cake, ETH cake, and see what's going on here. Can't tell. Let's do it slightly differently. Binance cake. Binance. Just doing that. So you can see that ETH against cake is at the lows. And we've got a nice strong kind of flirt. We're at the lows. You can't judge volume on this because it's not a trading pair. But in terms of the range, we've come to the lows. Yeah. And to the highs of this range is a 2000% increase in value against ETH. You can see the momentum is flat. We've come right back to the bottom here. Got a really strong reaction at the lows here. It's a bit of a gamble, but you know, this is what we're doing. It's like we're gambling, but with a little bit of insight into probabilities and the way the markets work, and just seeing some sort of signs of what is happening before our eyes. So I'm quite interested in cake. Just something to bear in mind, especially since it's at the lows of the price, whereas, you know, certain coins are at highs. They could continue going. Like, I'm interested in SUI too, but if we start seeing a higher time frame reversal here on cake, then I would argue that cake could be quite a nice, dare I say it, safe hold, dare I say it. Yeah, nothing safe in crypto, but safe in the context of the token's been around for a long time. It's not a rug pull. It's a healthy exchange, healthy community. And I do imagine in the future that when retail comes back to the market en masse, because a lot of retail were already interested in cake, there's no reason why they don't jump back into cake, you know. And so that's what we've seen. Like, retail got back into the market a little bit, and XRP pumped, some of the older, more established tokens pumped. And so again, in the future, when the retail starts to decide they want to get back into the market, you'd expect them to get back into Pancake Swap. Who cares about tokenomics, fundamental? No one really cares about that. All that matters is the market saying, I want to buy, where shall I do it? Oh, Pancake Swap, let's go, buy, buy, buy. You know, it's all that really matters. So this is actually quite a strong kind of area of support that we've found because of the volume. And so I'm just kind of highlighting that for you guys. SUI I've done. Oh yeah, SUI I've done. Cake. Solana. Let's have a look at Solana. Solana's not having that much fun. Sometimes it pumps and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it dumps. We're getting strong buys here, but we're also coming into some big resistance here. Yeah, you can see it with these green wicks. There's a little bit of resistance here. We're getting some nice buys, but we're getting some sells too. So these are selling tails. I think this needs a strong close above a previous daily high. Until we get that, this is going to just kind of potentially grind up. Like if tomorrow we get a preview, it's hard to know exactly how this is going to play out. We've got this 3-day candle close here. That's potentially a reversal, but you know, you could always go down. So that's why I'm kind of bullish, but I'm also hesitant. Like, we want to see a nice strong close above a previous day high, and we haven't had that here. In this context, we haven't had that strong close above a previous high. It's grinding up, but also we're not getting a strong close. So we need a strong close to give us this the indication that this actually wants to break out. And we're not seeing that just yet. In the local range, we're into the point of control. We're kind of flirting with the point of control. And it's a tricky one because I think it wants to go up. It looks like it wants to go up, but we're hitting areas of resistance. And I'm still thinking that potentially this can play out. Not as impulsive as I would have hoped. But if we do get a nice strong close here, above a previous day high, it could fly. It could fly really quickly, yeah? Because that would be a massive indication for me. So I think there's potential for this to just fly up to the top there. But I think what's also holding this back is ETH. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I think it's positive because you've got ETH, Solana, another Sol. You can see that we had this really bearish 3-day candle. We had this little pullback now last 3 days, which is why Solana pumped a bit. And now you see that the value of Solana is going back into ETH. And so I think possibly that's why ETH is slightly stronger than Solana right now, because Solana has pumped significantly against ETH. And if ETH starts to run, then you could actually see Solana here pull back. And so while ETH runs, Solana will go up much slower than people anticipate. And that's kind of why I've got Solana in this diamond pattern. That's why, yeah, because I would like to see ETH show more strength, because that is required for us to have this kind of fake alt season. That would require Solana to just kind of grind up, whatever, to kind of hit areas of resistance where ETH is pumped and Solana is back at the highs, and people are thinking, okay, now Solana is going to go to the moon, because that's how they think. They think first BTC, then ETH, then the mid caps, whatever. But actually that will be it. That will be the end, because then you'll be looking to go down and then break down and then let's go down. Let's just take Solana right down to the shits. So I'm still on this page until I see something that gives me another indication. It's always possible Solana to go to the shits now, you know, like I'm not saying it can't happen, but in the context of everything else, I think if this grinds up slowly while ETH is a little bit more bullish, makes more sense, because you have the outflow of Solana going into ETH, and then ETH pumping a little bit more than everything else, and then everyone getting bullish because ETH is pumping, but actually that would be a lot of altcoins just reverse, just it'd be like a little relief rally for a lot of altcoins, because a lot of altcoins are in the shit because of the crazy downtrend that they've experienced recently. You know, the momentum is to the downside, so you can't just go up in a straight line. Anything now, like you're not looking at like something like ENA and going, oh my god, now we're going to go V-shape. What you're thinking of is corrective for continuation. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking V-shape, I'm thinking corrective, relief for continuation. Yeah, so in every token that I'm looking at, even though it looks bullish, and you know, tokens like SUI have the potential to make all-time highs, but I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking corrective for continuation. That's what I'm thinking, on all the tokens that I'm looking at. Okay, ETH is arguably the best token to be in, because ETH is at 2,685, really cheap. Basically you're getting ETH at the same price as 21. Unbelievable. It's a steal in my imagination. And we've had a capitulation candle. We've taken the lows. This is the low, I think 2k is the low. 2,100 is the low, I think so. This is the perpetual contract, but if I kind of go to the ETH USD to get all of the data. Look at where we came. You know, we came on ETH, we came to look, this is where we are. Yeah. So it just came to the bottom of this higher time frame range that we're in. That's the top of the range. So let me just draw this out clearly so you can see what I'm talking about. We find the channel here. Roughly. See that we've come to the midpoint. We've come to the midpoint of this horizontal channel. That was the midpoint. So we came to support for a capitulation. Came to support. I think that's the low because we're in this upper range. I don't think we're going to go down into that. Would be really bearish. I don't think that's going to happen. If that happened, then crypto is over. If ETH starts going underneath 2K, 2.1, whatever, I think that's the end of crypto, because now we're right back into ETH trying to get back to $900. I think that would be the end of crypto. And I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking that's the low, just because we're in the back of the range, top of the range. It's like buying ETH March 21. That was what it was like. And in the context of Bitcoin being all-time highs and the bull market, etc. Like if we do go, I wouldn't mind to see a little ETH pump to take the highs here for another attack of the lows. So just kind of a little bit of a range bound price action right to the highs, get everyone bullish, inverse type head and shoulder, which is not, because we put in a lower right shoulder. Everyone's going to think, all right, now ETH to 20K, whatever they're going to say. Failed auction, swing failure of the highs here, lower high there. Right back down to test the lows, feel that candle wick, another liquidation event. And then we can have our crazy moon time type situation. That's not in December. I'm not thinking December. And the reason why this will go up is because it will suck the living daylights out of every other altcoin. Every altcoin will be giving its value, including Bitcoin, to ETH for this, for the entry of the lifetime, which is right back up there, and then you just go straight back up, and then you break out. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now with where ETH is. So I'm quite bullish on it until to a point. If I see that happen, I'll be amazed. All right, so that's basically that. Let me just finish up with TRVL and kind of give my thoughts on TRVL, just because it's my hobby and I like to do it. I'm going to do it anyway, just because it's a hobby. But doing it for such a long time, it's hard to just give up your hobbies, isn't it? Even though it looks bearish as fuck. I'm looking at the combined chart now, which is all the exchanges, centralized exchanges. We've put in an all-time low, as you can see, which is miserably bearish. It's hard to shill a token which keeps on putting all-time lows, isn't it? All-time low, all-time low, all-time low, all-time low, all-time low. And what have we got here? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. We've got a really ugly downtrend. That being said, every time we put in an all-time low, it doesn't go much lower. That's the pattern, isn't it? So, I mean, exception was after the launch, it did go much lower, but after that low here, after this low here, how much lower did we go? Another 7%. You know, it's, how much are we down now? We're down another 12% now. I don't think we, like, it's, the lower you go, the harder it is to go down, though, because it becomes, the price of a token becomes incredibly cheap. And obviously the context is the rest of the value, which is, in this circumstance, it's a real world assets type token, decentralized physical network type token, elements of AI, and with all the investment from venture capital and partnerships with different platforms such as Matic and Fetch, with the business side bringing in over $1 million plus revenue. This is the site I wanted to show you before I forgot it, but it came back to my mind. June analytics. When you're looking at this, what do you see? Well, I see that we've got a really nice increase in revenue, not revenue, but booking value. We can see it's an increasing, it's a trend that's going up and up and up month on month. You can see the room nights booked just keeps on going up. We're kind of steadily going up now. We're not kind of exponentially going up. We're just kind of going up in a very straight line rather than an exponential line. For some reason, this total listing has dropped. I don't know why. But maybe this is just a mid cycle, mid kind of stage plateau before it kind of increases. Total operator sign-ups are increasing steadily. So we've got continuous growth on this. We've had some kind of sporadic moments of fast growth, and now we're kind of going into slow growth. At any point in time, you can suddenly get a jump, a sporadic increase in growth. Like, I don't see this in decline. I see this in the hyper growth stage. Yeah, it's hard to, like, for example, I have my listings on Dtravel. I'm not taking them off, and I'm still kind of pushing direct bookings on Dtravel. So it's not something that I stop, regardless of where the project is in other aspects of other people's kind of ideas. So this is interesting, you know, this is still good, you know, that's kind of what I'm saying. And the lower you go, the better the value. Honestly, it's like you're getting something for dirt cheap. Now, it's hard to buy the lows when you're in negative price discovery, but what I'm seeing now, and it's quite interesting, and I think just from a technical perspective, you just got to be aware of what I'm seeing. We've got quite a lot of volume coming in the lows here, sell volume, and the price is struggling to go down. Yeah, and so a lot of people got despondent and they started selling at the lows. And this last 3-day red candle on the combined chart on the exchanges, we've got 21 million tokens worth of selling. Yeah, it's quite a lot. And the price only managed to go down 5%. It's not much. So we're hitting quite liquid areas, very liquid areas where there's a little bit of interest in the token price. This is so far this 3-day candle got 21 million in volume. So the volume has increased. That's my point. Up here, when the price was much higher, people, look, they weren't selling 6 million, whatever, 7 million when the price was looking bearish. 7, no one was selling. They were holding 2 million, whatever. And then suddenly, oh, that was quite bad. 31 in that candle. So that, you see, that was quite liquid because that candle was 31 million and the price dropped 29%. And here you've got a very similar you have a price drop of 6% and you have a 21 million in volume. So we're coming to a very liquid area now where you may feel bearish, you may feel like it's illiquid, but actually we're getting quite high volume here, or heavy volume. You can see there's been an increase in volume in this area. Yeah, and you may feel bearish about that, but that's being absorbed. There's a little bit of absorption here. I'm not saying it's bullish. I'm just saying that we're hitting areas where people are now going, I can buy some, I can buy a lot, I can buy a lot of this token because I'm still fundamentally bullish on the project, on different aspects of the project which are bullish, and I've shown you that. Now in my stream yesterday I said anything underneath all-time low is a buy zone, anything above all-time high is a sell zone, and nothing's changed. Everything's, I contemplated different ideas of what could happen, but this is a buy zone. If you're underneath a previous, you're in a buy zone. You may be afraid to buy the dip, but naturally yesterday someone wasn't. Yeah, so someone wasn't afraid to buy, and he just, whoever it was, just market bought. There was a market buy of 2 million TRVL, and you can see here you've got people selling, selling, selling. Oh, selling, 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 selling. Look at the 1.2 million in that down candle, right back up. You know, so there's no need to market sell in these areas. It's just ridiculous. It's just madness to market sell in these areas. Any one of these people who wanted to sell, if they really wanted to sell, they could just put limit orders, and then they could have got a better fill at the very least. But that obviously hasn't happened, and now you've got this big market buy, which is our first sign of life. I'm not saying this is the beginning of the next move. I have no idea, but it is impulsive from the lows. It's an impulsive move, so you could argue it's like a wave one. You can make that argument, and until we see it, we can't predict it or make it happen. You can see here now we're in a little bit of a very flat correction, yeah, showing bullish divergences on the MACD. So we're getting some kind of absorption of price on the MACD. See, there's a bit of sell volume here, and the price hasn't gone down. A little bit buy volume, the price hasn't gone up. So we're getting a little bit of buying and selling in this really close, tight knit range. But this is a flat correction, and we are looking at potentially a failed auction. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Just because of this helps. Yeah? This helps me imagine a future where we go above the previous all-time high with another impulsive stage move for another correction, for a failed auction type situation, for potentially another impulsive start type move. Now, is that the beginning of the wave one of a new impulsive move? I have no idea. I can't predict that, because in a wave one type situation, you don't invalidate it until you come back and you take the low. So the only way to know if it is or if it isn't is if the price corrects and holds for a higher low for another impulsive move. Okay, and we don't know how it would correct if we get a failed auction. Okay, because the price could also go down and make a lower low and invalidate this impulsive move. And what actually ends up happening is this was ABC corrective, ABC corrective, ABC corrective. Not a five-wave move, like an ABC, ABC, ABC type corrective move for continued down pressure. Okay, because of reasons I can't explain. The way we'll know or have a clue of what happens is volume. Okay, and what we want to see is increasing green volume as the price goes up. If you start seeing increasing green volume as the price goes up, that will be your clue that we're actually looking at a healthy move to the upside and not an unhealthy move to the upside. We want to see increasing green volume to the upside, and as the price descends to find support, we want to see decreasing volume and gentle declines. We don't want to see aggressive decline. We want to see a gentle decline. We want to see aggressive buying and non-aggressive selling. Yeah, gentle selling, basically gentle taking profit, decreasing volume. So I don't think we should panic just yet, because if we do get a failed auction here, and we do find support back on the all-time low, the previous all-time low, yeah, then there is a chance we have a rally to higher up. I don't know how high, but we'll have to see. Okay, and you just have to see where the price finds support, finds resistance, etc. and that could be a relief rally, or it could be just another rotation to the top of the range with another low. Like when we put in this all-time low here and the price had its first kind of impulsive move, you had kind of a few weeks or months of selling, and then look what happened. It just went up and up and up and up, you know. So we could just be putting an all-time low here, just like we did here, just to kind of create this kind of price action to go up. It may not go up to exceed our expectations. You may just be going up to put in another lower high, okay? But the point of this is that it's just not a good place or idea, in my opinion, to sell, yeah, willy-nilly and hope for lower. Are you hoping for lower because you want to buy back lower? Or are you selling because you think this is bearish and this is going to zero? Or because you're pump chasing and meme coins, okay? Because the reality is you may hold here and do nothing, and in a few months time we're back up 200-300%. Whereas if you go selling now and you go chasing your meme coins, you may not get that. You may or you may not. So it's a bit of a gamble in that sense. It'd be better to just take it easy, and if anything, accumulate more. If and when we get a little failed auction here, that would be interesting, because I'd like to see how the market responds to that, to a failed auction, rather than expecting or hoping for low, right? So that's kind of my TRVL update. In the background, things are potentially shifting in the background. I can't say if it's to my pleasure or not. I have no idea. Unfortunately, I have no idea. And while I'm one of the few who are publicly communicating about Dtravel and TRVL, I'm just as much in the dark as most of the people out there. It's a shame, really, but what can I do about that? It is synonymous to the problems that a lot of people have experienced with a lot of projects, not just Dtravel. I think crypto, it's just a generic comment, you know. I think crypto is already, there's a lot of mistrust and rug pulls, etc. in crypto, and the most important thing with crypto is that whoever is creating a crypto project, that they have the most honest, transparent, clear communication with their community as possible. Yeah, it's really important, because you have to dispel the mistrust, you have to dispel the fear. And I think a lot of crypto, like in my experience and what I've seen, a lot of crypto projects struggle to do that, and that's why a lot of people abandon them, because they're not satisfied with the communication. So I don't think we're unique in that sense, and at least I'm here to kind of help try to address those issues. I'm not in charge, and so therefore I don't make those decisions, and for reasons that I can't explain. For some reason, the people who haven't got the kind of adaptability to do that, but maybe with a little bit of pressure, maybe with a little bit of feedback, maybe we can kind of get them to a place where there's enough confidence that we could get the price of this token back into the highs, or even higher. The problem with that is that it just, every time the price goes up, it breeds an air of complacency. You kind of think, all right, this is it, now we're going to the moon, now we're going to the higher prices, now just hold on to your rockets, yeah. And actually nothing changes, and that's really what we've been experiencing in all of these pumps, a complacency. And so what I'm trying to change isn't a continued complacency. What I'm trying to change is continued trust, continued the ingredients for establishing and for developing a really strong community. Clear, honest, transparent communication, vision for the future, roadmaps, etc., etc., shared decisions with the community, shared accountability, shared responsibility, shared leadership in some sense. Okay, that's the changes that I've suggested, which includes constant updates, not just kind of one-sided updates, but updates with like AMAs and stuff, town halls, and where strategic decisions are given to the community to comment on, at least if not the whole community, it's certain people, members of the community, and that, I think that will kind of help and to quell a lot of the anxiety and the fear. It's still a good buy. It really is still a good buy. It's hard to buy the fear, but that's sometimes those are the most life-changing moments. Do we have further to go down? I don't know. I've suggested that it is possible for the price to form a bottom at 1.4 in the future, but if we get a failed auction, then forget about it. Then we've just put in a lower low, just like we did here back in October. This was October, the beginning of the bull market. Could we do the same thing? It's possible, eh? It's possible. So it's not out of the context of what this token has the ability to do. I'm definitely not selling. If we see a failed auction, you know, I'd probably be tempted to buy some more, just because I see that we've had a failed auction and we've fallen back to find support off the previous all-time line low. It'd be a good trade in my imagination. I wouldn't be expecting it off a failed auction to go down. I'd be expecting it then to kind of find support to go up. So that's TRVL. Any questions or anything, you're welcome to join my Discord. The link is below this video. Happy to chat about TRVL. We have real honest conversations about TRVL there. You might not be able to have the freedom to talk freely on Dtravel. You might not feel that you have the freedom to talk freely on Dtravel's Telegram, but I'm happy to have open and honest conversations. If anyone's interested, to come into my Discord. It's free, there's no cost, and it's all open and transparent, and we can have a chat. Right. So that's my stream for today. I think I don't really have much more to say, except, is Bitcoin going to zero? Apparently not. Let's have a look at this. Oh, a little bit of bullish divergence forming here. I like that. I like bullish divergences. That buying tail disappeared. The buying tails are all gone. That's a shame. But I like the bullish divergence that's formed. So even though we might go lower, I like bullish divergence. I like it when the market's buying, and it's giving me the indication of buying. Yeah. So when the market looks like it wants to buy and it's absorbing the price, I'm going to buy a little bit and absorb the price. I wouldn't mind if Solana pumped, to be honest with you. That would give me a little bit of confidence about the market, because Solana usually has a clue about the future. The Solana crowd, huh? Those degens. All right, I'm gonna go now. I think I'm gonna try and stream for a late night sesh tonight. This could we hold a higher low here and just go up? It's possible, eh? So don't just kind of feel bearish. Let's see what happens when New York opens properly in 1.5 hours. That usually sets the tone. Sometimes you get a dump before you get a pump, or, you know, if you suddenly get a pump first, then it could continue to dump. So just bear that in mind. Let's see what happens at the daily close today, and then we'll come back late night for a late night stream in the late hours. And if you're in America, it'll be afternoon, and then we can analyze the daily close together. All right, have a good evening, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, and then see you later. Bye bye.